This is the Xiaomi 14 after the hype. So the Xiaomi 14 that released this year is another compact flagship phone from Xiaomi. And literally from the first second you open it up, it really feels like a really premium smartphone. Packed with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, it really is a powerful, compact smartphone. You can find it with 12 or 16 gigabytes of RAM, in some regions even with 8 gigabytes of RAM, but I feel like this is probably the best if you get it in 12 or 16 gigabytes of RAM, and overall, while it is a tiny smartphone, it is a beast. With a nice glassy back, really nice frames, which are like the silver frames, and the back with the new camera bump, slightly different from the Xiaomi 13, but not with a huge difference compared to the last year's model. It features a really nice AMOLED display, which can go from 1 Hz up to 120 Hz, meaning that depending on the content that you use this phone for, it's gonna actually adjust to that kind of frame rate that you use it with. And it's definitely a smaller kind of a smartphone in the flagship category, which has a 4.36-inch AMOLED display. And because it's an AMOLED, the display is just amazing, both in terms of colors, the contrast, everything just looks amazing. And if you use it without a case, it literally looks like the screen is all the way to the edge of the phone. It's a beautiful display, literally just no nonsense, just a small drop on the top in terms of the camera, and then all the way to the edge of the phone you have a nice screen, which, like I said, is an AMOLED up to 120 Hz display with beautiful colors and contrast. And this display can go up to 3000 nits in its peak brightness, which is plenty of brightness when going out and about in direct sunlight. There is not going to be a situation where you cannot see what's on the screen. You can really push out more brightness if needed in direct sunlight, which is really, really nice. But overall, for daily usage, is a beautiful display with nice colors, contrast, and brightness. Under the hood, we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which can play all the modern games on it in amazing quality. Literally, you can play anything you have on your phone and it's gonna work great. It's pretty much like the top of the top in terms of the chipsets, so there really isn't much to say other than it's the top of the top, and you can't really go wrong with such a powerful chipset. There really isn't many phones that are going to be stronger than the Xiaomi 14. Also under the hood we have a 4610 milliamp battery with 90 watt charging, and best of all yet, in the package you actually find the cable and the charger, which already is the 90 watt charger, so you don't have to go out and buy something else. You already have everything in the box. You can also use the wireless charging on this phone and reverse charging from this phone. But I really love that Xiaomi includes the extremely fast chargers in the box right away with your smartphone. And what else you get in the box is not only you get the pre-applied screen protector that is on the screen, but you also get a case. In this case, it's a gray kind of a case, so what is really nice about this is it's not gonna get yellowish with time. It's gonna stay the way it is for longer periods of time, and it really is a nice finish. It's more like a matte finish, and it feels really nice in hand. The only thing I don't like about it is you can't see the beautiful white back of this phone. But other than that, for daily usage, this case is amazing. It feels great in hand. Really nice matte finish with a Xiaomi logo on here. And overall, I feel like it's really nice that they include those things. If you want a different case or you don't want it, you don't have to use it, but they actually include it, and it really is amazing that they do, because you have pretty much everything you want to start with right away. If you're enjoying the music in this video, check out the link down below for Epidemic Sound. It has been the go-to music I have been using since the start of this channel, and thanks to their copyright-free music, you can actually monetize your channel and your videos on YouTube. And with the link down below, you'll get a 7-day free trial. In terms of how this phone works, it's based on the Android 14 and more importantly on the HyperOS from Xiaomi. It is a new software in terms of Xiaomi's. They went from MIUI 14 to the HyperOS, which is the next step in their interconnectivity with different devices. And overall, I would say HyperOS is definitely faster, lighter than the MIUI 14. There are a little bit couple of things that I don't prefer about it that I loved about the other one, but that was more about the personalization that I loved about the MIUI 14 because of some certain little features that probably no one uses, but I did, and I kind of wish it was here too. But overall, for average consumer, the HyperOS system is amazing. Overall feels really premium. It feels and looks very nice, and as you can see, it works nicely. We have the 3D lock screen display, and we also have, as you can see, under this screen we have the fingerprint sensor, which is really nice. It's really fast and responsive. And as you can see, it works really fast, responsive. Just everything about this phone screams premium from the looks of it, from the way it works. It's a really nice phone with a lot of great features. The HyperOS system overall is amazing, and it's based on the Android 14, so you have the newest security patches and overall features. As well as this being the HyperOS and also adding it as an AMOLED display, you can actually have the always-on display. In my opinion, Xiaomi, as always, has one of the nicest always-on displays. In this case, we have this effect where we have a 3D picture, which actually goes into the always-on display. And for many, the most important part is going to be the cameras on the back. So what we have here is a triple 50 megapixel sensor setup. All three of the cameras have 50 megapixels. So one is a main camera sensor, which is going to be for most case scenarios. Then you have the telephoto, which is a zoom lens compared to the main one. And then we have the wide angle lens, which is more for those occasions where you cannot go any farther back or you want it to have a little bit more in the frame. From my testing, all three of them are amazing. You can use the Leica Authentic and the Leica Vibrant. Both are really good, but just a little bit different. I feel like Authentic is a little bit more what you see, and then the Vibrant is a little bit brighter. A lot of times it tends to be a little bit brighter and just overall more saturation, but both of them are really good, and both of them have really good color science. I really love the photos and videos on this phone, and even in low light situations, all three of the cameras perform really well. You can actually record up to 4K 60 frames per second, which is beautiful, really nice looking footage. You can also record in 4K 30 frames per second with the log format, and also record in 8K at lower frames per second. But you can actually do it on this phone. I feel like it's an amazing flagship with not really anything that I would say is not good about it. There isn't anything I would say I don't like about this phone. From its design to the lightweight and just build aspect of it, it is a little bit more squarish, so it's depending if you like that kind of phones, if you like the squarish phones, if you like the rounded phones, but overall it feels premium in hand. Premium quality in terms of build and premium features, 90-watt charging, AMOLED display, HyperOS, amazing cameras on the back with the Leica color science and Leica overall software and hardware. It's definitely a flagship, but in a compact size. So if you're after a little bit smaller kind of a phone, but still having the best of the best, I can definitely recommend you the Xiaomi 14. With that being said, this is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys learned something new today. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.